Belief. Creativity. Miracles. Miracles. Clarity. Energy. Assurance. Happiness. Faith. Insight. Calm. Imagine. Loving presence. Understanding. Pure appreciation. Passion. peace, freedom, gratitude, trusting, loving, success, guidance, strength, respect, certainty, ease and grace, hopefulness, delight, serenity. Worthiness, belief, acceptance, thanksgiving, honor, appreciation, willingness, acceptance, freedom, joy, love, elegance, wholeness, delight, oneness, courage, passion, wise, glorious, fearless, respectful, appreciation, empowerment, security, right action, knowledge, belief, creativity, miracles, miracles, miracles. Clarity, vitality, energy, assurance, happiness, faith, insight, calm, imagine, confident, loving, presence, surrender, understanding, pure appreciation, passion, excellence, spirit, eagerness, truth, wonder, creativity.
Welcome to the internationally acclaimed Santa Monica Playhouse. Before the show begins, a brief reminder.
No eating inside the auditorium. However, drinks with lids may be brought into the theater.
The taking of any photographs or the operation of any electronic recording device is strictly prohibited.
Please turn off all cell phones and take a moment to look around you for the nearest available emergency exit.
Thank you.
Veronica, how's it look?
Oh, looks good. Fits well, Sammy. Well, I'm so glad you're going to be working here.
Thank you for choosing me, Veronica. There's so much to learn about bras.
And the women who wear them. And the women who wear them. So, I didn't get finished with the stocking class yesterday, so we're going to do that today. So let's go ahead and get started with your training. When women come into the store, well, anybody comes in the store, say, hello, I'm Sammy, welcome to Veronica's Revelations. I'm glad you're here. Okay?
Okay. Hi, I'm Sammy. Welcome to Veronica's Revelations.
Thanks. Oh, I have to admit we won't be able to do that every time, but anyway. So at Veronica's Revelations, we're not only interested in sales, but our customers are really family. You know, when I first thought about bras, I was in junior high gym class, and someone said to me, "You still wear an undershirt?" And I was. Mind you, the girl who said it wasn't any bigger than a minute. But I felt that I was behind the times. I was 12, and she was being condescending. But, no, what can we say? I didn't have anybody to talk to about it because my dad was at home with my mom, who was sick, and she was in the hospital back and forth. And so, I went home and got one of my mom's bras and cut it up and safety pinned it to fit me. Now understand, my mother was probably a 40 double D. So I had a whole lot of cutting and pinning to do. But when I put it on, I felt different. I was big and I was bad because I was walking around with this bra on. I had power. It never dawned on me that you could actually see the thing through my clothes. I was walking through the kitchen past my dad, and he, "What's this?" "It's a bra." "Where'd you get it?" I blocked the rest of that conversation from my mind. Not something you want to discuss with your father. Anyway, that weekend he took me over to J.C. Penney's. You know, Saturday at Penny's, everybody and his brother's there. Turned me over to this old, loud saleswoman, probably in need of a hearing aid, and she was just,
Honey, do you have a bra on right now?
no.
Huh. You're not very big. This will probably fit.
Buying my first bra was traumatic. I wanted this store to be a place where women had great experiences buying bras. You know, I met Maggie at my daughter's PTA meeting at her school. She made so much sense.
When your young girls start to become women, like when their breasts start to develop, we get thrown, at least in the American culture. We don't know what to do. We're not prepared. One day, we're just children, not boys or girls, just kids playing in the yard. And the next day, Johnny's little friend Jane has something protruding out of her t-shirt. My aunt took my cousins to get a bra. And she explained sex so thoroughly, there were no questions left to be asked. But that's not always possible. And Mom Or someone will come home and say, "Here, put this on." Little boys don't know what to think, so they turn to their fathers, who never had a clue either, and they fall back on what they did when they were kids. "Yeah, she's gotten little boobs." Little girls are getting something boys aren't. And little boys want to touch and play with them, whereas girls who used to share everything are now saying no. Hopefully. Everything's changed, and no one really knows what to do about it. So confusion sets in. But I think boys feel it as a loss when a girl starts to develop, instead of a transformation. Because this is one aspect of our rites of passage into womanhood.
Oh, Maggie, you were on fire.
Woo!
You know, she wanted to have open discussions in health classes and more, because this is when we start hearing the names.
Bosoms.
Breasts.
Bus.
I started off asking ladies what they'd heard breasts called before. The few women I spoke to came up with 46 different names.
Honkers. Chi-chis.
Mosquito bites.
Well, some were derivatives of others, like
Tits.
Titties.
Boobs.
Boobies.
tits, I guess, since animals have teats and they do the same sort of thing.
The girls. My mom says breastises, and I've heard guys use torpedoes, balloons, boulders, spotlights, and the rack.
As I listed them, it dawned on me that some of them made sense.
Milk jugs. Jugs. Mounds. Pillows.
I'm sorry, but in my mind, I didn't understand jugs at first, because to me, a jug was a thing you carried around on your finger. But I guess if you consider the purpose of the breast with regard to milk, they could be considered jugs. Others made no sense whatsoever.
Bongos or bonkers?
Exactly. Then I realized that those names were probably thought up by the same group of people that decided a car needed a bra. Hence, we also have
Headlights.
Then it made sense that it made no sense.
Tatas, TTs, Hooters.
Oh, the names are descriptive. For example, all women have tits, but mine will never be referred to as cantaloupes, watermelons,
Or any other large piece of fruit. Tittle bitties instead of big old titties.
When I asked the ladies the names they'd heard before, there were only a few that we as women used most. They were,
Breasts, tits, boobs, or the girls?
in fact, breast was used most often, unless in a playful mode. Of course, that could be a cultural thing. Because I did hear two women from England refer to them as a lovely pair of knockers. But you know, there's a level of respect in that phrase.
A lovely pair of knockers.
My sense is that's the key.
Respect.
When women find out that I know bras inside and out, they tell me about theirs, and then they tell me about their breasts.
I overheard my 7-year-old niece Jackie explain breasts to her playmate. Do your boobs hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Oh, my mama had the ladies' church meeting at... My mama had the ladies' church meeting at our house last night. I don't know what they say in the den, but I can hear when they have wine at the one meeting in the kitchen, and I listen from the porch so I can learn. They said, next to God, breasts are the most powerful thing in the universe.
Wow.
Yeah, they said that if we band together, women could control the world. Our neighbor, Mrs. Barnes, said the more you push them together and up, the better the results. And then there's something about lift and separate once. It was something they did in the 70s. I think it still works, but They say together they're better. Is something about how long the cleavage line is. I don't know what that is. But I hear it can go from your neck to your navel. And you don't need a lot to make it work. My mama says my Aunt Jane barely has pimples, but she sure knows what to do with them. And they say the higher the better. But there's something that happens later with deflation. But I don't know how the air gets in. The deacon's wife, Mrs. Jameson, said, "Oh yeah, hers dropped down to her elbows after she put him in some kind of a vice at the doctor's office." So maybe the doctor puts the air in and he takes it out again. Well, that would explain why my mama said that when my teacher, Miss Gilbert, got her new ones, they looked like they were floating up by her ears. I can't wait till I get mine. Hey, you're throwing over your shoulder like a continental soldier. Do your boobs hang low?
You know, we all think about getting it, or blooming, as my grandmother called it. Oh! When did you get yours?
I got mine in 6th grade. I just remember my mom always made sure I had on the training bra she bought me in 5th grade. And then one day they finally did appear, and I said, "Oh, that's how that works." I didn't start to like my breasts until someone made them feel like they were actually part of my body.
The change is that way for a lot of girls. That's why I'm glad we have the women's circle. We talk about, we have frank conversations about that anymore.
I got breasts between 2nd and 3rd grade, so I was 8 years old. One night I went to bed, and the next morning, like, there they are. The doctor said, well, you know, they'll run out when you lose the weight, get smaller. Yeah, right. For me, they were pretty much here to stay, even after I did lose the weight. But in 4th grade, I was still the only girl with breasts. Me and my Wonder Woman underoos and this diagonally striped, like, front closure Warner training bra that helped give them shape. But because I had them, I always got made fun of. I hated it. Like, why do people poke fun, tease? It's not fun. To me, it was ridicule. It made me feel unloved, unwanted. Yeah.
I know what you mean, Debbie. I developed pretty early in my class, and I remember not being too very happy about it. Being the only one whose chest was getting bigger and my clothes were getting tighter. I was getting a lot of unwanted attention. Boys would point and laugh. And in high school, boys would stare and ask me on dates. Men would stare too. My dad's best friend started hanging around me more, and that scared me. And going out to find a bra and what that meant, oh, that was way too much responsibility. And no one would talk to me about it. And my dad was a gynecologist. It was very clinical in our house. We had books about the body and body parts. Conversations went like this. If you want to know what's happening, read this book. Or, I'll get that book for you. Or, look it up. That was my mom's favorite answer to everything. Look it up.
You know, the changing of a boy's voice just doesn't compare.
Oh, you're right. Guys would think twice about teasing if their organ first showed up in the middle of their chest. To wake up one morning with a knob in the middle of your chest. I mean, something you've been looking forward to, but not realizing just how personal it really is. Oh, but now the whole world gets to watch it grow with you. And comment. Oh, wow! Yours is huge. Or, I don't think you're going to get any bigger. Then taken to a store to be fitted for a socially acceptable apparatus called a bra, or in their case, a jock strap. I can hear the salesman now. Oh, congratulations, young man. That's a nice start. You've been that size for a while. Oh, don't you worry. I'm sure it'll grow. Oh, let's see here. This medium is too big. This small, this will take a little growing into. Let's try a petite. Then when they get home, they look in the mirror and think, everybody's going to know this doesn't quite fit my body size. And so they try to enhance it with socks or toilet paper, just for a little evenness. But then somewhere during the course of the day, something goes south, either them or the enhancement. Somebody notices and laughs, and nobody comes to their rescue. Or, in one day, they go from nothing to full-blown, and then some, and now the whole world's staring at you. No, at your breasts. You think no one will ever look you in the eyes again. Any way you look at it, I don't think guys could handle this nearly as well as we girls do, and we have difficulty.
I bloomed when I was 35 and bought a Wonder Bra. I never much worried about it because somebody once told me as long as I could fill a champagne glass, I would be okay. Well, which one? This? Okay, this goes over there. It changes that way a lot. Did you get the new bras in? Did you happen to see when they came in?
No.
No. Ah.
I haven't seen every section in the store yet.
No.
Can you show me around?
Yeah, well, I think you're supposed to work out things over here. We're going to have the pasties over there.
Okay.
And over here we have the training bras. Okay, well. Sometimes when the ladies shop, all we need to do is listen. Looks like Amy's triggered. So I'm just gonna sit with her while she talks.
She didn't tell me. My mom. I was 7, so she thought I was too young. Parents always think we're too young. So she didn't tell me. But I knew because I saw the worried look on my father's face. I saw the fear in his eyes, and I knew. I saw the far-off look on my mother's face now so often. I saw her wipe the tears from the crying that she didn't want me to see, and I knew. I saw them angry, but not at each other. My mother would comb the anger out of my hair. Before I would have cried out, but I didn't, because I knew. I saw my brother walking around quietly and stay out of trouble, so I knew that he knew. He was older, so she told him. But she didn't tell me. Then later, after the surgery, when my mother's strength started coming back, we were at a ladies' dressing area, and she knew that I knew. So she showed me. Nowadays, they take great care with what it will look like afterwards. But back then, they were focused only on getting it all. At least that's how I choose to look at it. Because it wasn't smooth or neatly healing. It was big and raw and red and jagged. I watched my mother as she smiled at me. I remember her talking, but I don't remember hearing what she was saying. But she was smiling and making pleasant. She didn't tell me, but I knew. I knew the pain because although she was smiling, she would flinch when she put her arm around me. But she did smile. And put her arms around me. But the concert pianist was gone. She didn't tell me, but I knew. I knew how it affected her because this woman who I knew could fly, because of how fast she could get across the room, was moving a lot more slowly now. Our walks took longer, but she still walked with me. My mother did everything she could to stay with me as long as she could. She didn't tell me, but I knew how much she loved me.
I'm glad you know that about your mom.
Me too. Veronica, me too. Can you please hold this for me?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Amy honors her mother by mentoring teen girls.
You build bras?
Yes, we will build the perfect bra for your beautifully unique body.
A year ago, Marge became one of our custom-built customers, and she came in all excited. She had had a series of first dates, and
I have another date with the same guy. It's the first second date since my mastectomy. So I really need some clarification here. Exactly where is first and second base? Is first base hand on top of the clothes and second base hand under the top? Or is first base hand under the top and second base hand under the skirt? No, if that's so, then where's third base? Great. I know the kids are moving faster than I ever did, but I am pretty sure that a home run is still a slide into home plate. Oh, maybe just kissing is first base. Or maybe the bases are areas. Like, this is first base, this is second base, third base is below the waist on top of the clothes, and a home run is under the skirt. I need to plan. I need to plan when and what. What do I say?
say what?
How do I say that I've only got one? If I'd had reconstruction, I could have tried to pass in the dark. This voice in my head keeps saying, you just went out. The second day's not a wedding. And I know that, but the old ways I used to think keep coming back into my mind, like, is he going to try to get to first base? Oh my God, what if he doesn't try? Wait, he's the guy, of course he'll try. So, should I let him go to second base? Oh hell, let's be honest. The question is, when do I let him go to second base? The feelings are the same. It's just the questions that have changed. You know, I was content with that relationship in my life. I've had lots of experiences. I have my family, my friends. I have my life. I'm grateful. Then he showed up. Okay, I know it's not this, but it feels like I have this secret that I have to tell him, but I...
If you broke your arm when you were 8, you wouldn't blurt that out on the first or second date. You might never tell him you broke your arm. Don't you want to just kind of get to know him on a deeper level?
Yeah, and we've talked and got to know each other before the first date, and we've talked since. But this is a bona fide second date.
Tell.
Okay, well, he called at least 24 hours in advance. He told me where we're going, so I know to make plans and I can dress right. He's going to pick me up, pay, and take me home.
It's a bona fide date.
Yeah! So, what do I say?
I think it depends on whether or not you want a relationship or casual sex.
Oh. Relationship or casual sex. Well, go away now. Relationship.
I think it takes guys a couple of months to kind of connect in a relationship.
Oh.
Then give it some time, you'll figure it out.
Yeah. I have another date! Oh, I have to go to the cleaners.
Oh.
I do have to go to the cleaners.
Did she take her new bra?
Oh, well, I guess she'll be back.
What's that?
Oh! These are the nippleless bras. You can't talk about breasts without talking about nipples.
But you can't really talk about nipples.
No, why? Because they have a mind of their own. You never know what they're gonna do. Perfectly nice day. You look nice, beautiful sweater blouse, and then someone asks, cold? And you say no, shake your head, look down, and there they are. Fully blown, out of attention, saying hello to the world. On top of that, nipples are manipulative. Mine are downright embarrassing because I never know what they're gonna do. I can be having a conversation with someone and I can slowly feel them going, or they'll just blurt themselves out, boing! I think nipples are kind of like a radar. They come out when there is a possibility of action, or even looking for action, even if it's like a soft breeze. It's an anticipation thing. I think, guys think, we're turned on when our nipples are out at attention. Remember Sex and the City? When Samantha gives her fake nipples to Miranda and says, honey, put these on and walk around the room and see how they like and they're attracted to you. Oh, okay. And of course they were. I think our nipples know this. And that's why I say our nipples are manipulative. Nipples are great! They can shoot so much electrification through your entire body, creating tiny little explosions all over. I'm not sure, but I think it was scientifically proven that nipples are connected to every other part of the body. Close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes. Now, just think about your own personal experiences with nipples. Someone's finger gently touches the inside of your arm. There they go. A light breeze blows across your cheek, and there they go. You're watching somebody really hot with a tight ass dancing across the floor, and there they go. Oh, And they can be a little naughty. Because with the right top and no bra on, and just a slight movement here or there, you could be getting self-gratification in a room full of people.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You have no idea. Okay. Over here, we have the training bras, though I do believe breasts know what to do when they get here, even if we don't. And we have a large selection of nursing bras. Now, breasts provide nurturing as well as nourishment. Yeah. Breasts provide nurturing as well as nourishment. And you know, we have a women's circle and meets every couple of weeks. And last month, Kathy, Rose, and I all said nursing is a whole other thing.
Nursing is a whole other thing. I nursed my second child, and I realized that when you're pregnant, your body's not your own. But when you breastfeed, your life is really not your own. I mean, your breasts go from being this sexual thing to being this nurturing thing that this child needs. And it was hilarious because even when the child wasn't around, even when I wasn't breastfeeding, there was still this milk coming out of all these different holes until it got to that point of drying up. And then there was watching my husband's reaction to that. Breasts really don't belong to you when you're pregnant. They belong to that child. Your only job is to keep them clean. Right, Rose?
Well, I just turned 21 when I had my first daughter, Kathy. I mean, my husband thought that it was barbaric to breastfeed, so I didn't. Even though, you know, I knew it would be healthier for me and my children. But I mean, anything he said, I was like, okay, even if I didn't agree. You know, I was totally and completely malleable to him. Huh. I think that with a lot of my relationships. Until my relationship with Diana. Oh, gosh, I was so anxious not to lose what I had that I totally became something that I wasn't. Until my relationship with my true life partner, Diana. Oh, what about you, Veronica?
No, I did not breastfeed. I wanted to. I did. I did everything they told me to. I did the toughening of the nipples. I mean, I really worked to breastfeed. And they brought me this cute little baby. And he attacked my breast. And I'm like, oh, here, take him. Take him. They were, the initial fact that he just, they wanted me to work it for 2 or 3 days. No. They said, give it time. No. They need time. The milk needs to flow. No. Bring a bottle. I wanted to. It didn't work out. He's healthy.
I mean, nursed or bottle fed, we are all given nourishment at our mother's breast. I mean, nestled there, hearing the sound of her heartbeat. I mean, it's the sound we heard in the morning.
Well, what if the world made decisions from the purpose of the breast, from comforting and nurturing?
Yeah. Not all our comforted. Take Lenora. She became one of our frequent customers after she had gotten detrimental news.
One day at a time. That's what my doctor said when she told me my test had come back for cancer. Oh. She said, well, we had already completed the first step by having the test and finding out. The second step was the mastectomy. But for me, the worst was step number 3. Chemo for 6 months, once every 3 weeks. Spending about an hour lying in the clinic while they shoot drugs into me. They tell you about the side effects, but you have no idea until they show up. And oh, they come over you like a wave. The nausea, it makes your insides feel like they're going every which way. In the bathroom, I wasn't sure if I should stand over the toilet or sit. Have you ever had diarrhea and constipation at the same time? Debbie goes with me sometimes.
We talk, or just sit.
Always at the right time. When she picked me up for one of my appointments, I had been brushing my hair. And when she turned the corner to come into where I was standing there with the brush in my hand, full of hair. I know it was going to come out, but to see it coming out by the handful, it was just mortifying. Oh.
Lenora, after your appointment, we're gonna go shopping for wigs, and we're gonna buy all the wigs and try on all the styles you never had the nerve to do with your own hair. A punk cut, a Cher wig.
Yeah, right, a punk cut. Oh, within 5 minutes, Debbie had me laughing. Oh. Well, after the chemo, my 4th step was 6 weeks of daily radiation. Well, it wasn't as bad as the chemo. It only made me feel tired. Like I had a sunburn. So I pretended that I had been lying out in the sun at the beach in the Bahamas and just had a little too much sun. The next step is optional. Reconstructive surgery. I met a woman who had just had her skin smoothly placed over the place where her breast was. It was beautiful. Really. It was kind of artistic. Oh, but for me, I felt I would feel balanced if I had a breast. I was afraid to ask, but I wondered, how are they going to make me a breast? Well, my doctor said she preferred that I didn't get an implant. Well, I'm not expecting to have any more surgeries, but she felt there could be some additional complications if it was needed and I had an implant. Get this, they made it out of my excess. Those pounds that I couldn't get rid of at the gym. Who knew those saddlebags would ever be useful? Oh. My final step. It's survival. Well, they often use 5 years as a unit of measurement. They don't say it to you, but if you make it to 5 years, the possibility of being around for 10 really goes up. Oh, I try not to get caught up into how long it's been. But ever so often it just sneaks up on me and I'm thinking about it again. Like now, right now. It's been 4 years, 9 months, and 24 days. And I thank God for every single day.
I'm glad you're here, Lenora.
Oh, Debbie, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, not all my friends could have handle what I was going through. Oh, but you just kept being my friend. Oh, I got you. Oh.
Not all women feel comfortable sharing their journey with cancer, releasing it. When you work with a woman on this path, always remember that the physical may have changed, but the power of who a woman is never goes away. Always speak to a woman's power, whether she sees it or not.
Sharing is healing.
Sometimes you have to disguise the conversation by speaking to the hot chick inside every woman. Okay, now this helps with cleavage, though not everybody needs it. Like Taffy, whose voluptuous body with a buxom bosom that arrives in a room before she does. She has some very specific ideas about cleavage and what to do with it.
Yes, I have used my cleavage. There are a variety of bras that push everything in, up, and over, and give you a look that's very alluring. Isn't that a great word? Alluring. Alluring. Anyway, I've been places where using a socially alluring movement has helped move activities along. Here, let me show you. You kind of gently lift, and then lean over and pick up something across the table. Try it again, okay. So lift, and then lean gently, pick up across the table. Yes! Yes, bravo! I've done that. I'm not ashamed, it works. So, you know, there is something though about having large breasts and a cleavage. We have body power. Smaller women have to find their power in other ways. I mean, because they don't have the privilege that we have. They have a gap, not a cleavage. I'm not saying they don't have power. They do. But this is just right on out there. Plus, if I knew a guy like them, I could short circuit the evening and move things along. It didn't hurt to be striking. Oh, but in business, I use more my upper power than I did my cleavage. But you know, they're all part of my resume. Other than my qualifications, an extra 10 grand has never been refused. There is my experience, my intelligence, and my cleavage. All part of the package. This is how I will adorn your offices and appease your clients. Sometimes without cleavage, you have to work a lot harder. I'll be back later for the women's circle. Bye.
Okay, there's nothing exotic about the breasts. They're attached to a whole person, a human being.
They're attached to a hot chick.
Because?
All women are hot chicks.
There you go.
You know, you might better do some TikTok content of that bra. It'll help with sales.
I don't have a clock account.
It's just TikTok.
TikTok clock. Maybe later.
Curious, did Marge ever tell you about the talk with her date?
Curious.
Okay, well, that's a really hard talk to have with somebody, and I think it would be really good to know how to do that.
Oh, yeah. That is a hard talk to have. That would be good to know.
I forgot my new bra.
I told you she'd be back. I was just about to tell her about the rest of your story.
Oh, well, I'll tell. So I decided to give it some time to see how we were together. After a few more dates, I had the talk with Mr. Second Date, John. I was really nervous, but I pushed through and told him. I've wanted to tell you something for a while, but I wasn't quite sure how. I want you to know that I'm a survivor. I'm a breast cancer survivor. This is me. And I also chose not to have reconstructive surgery. It's been over 5 years and I'm fine. I just wanted you to know. If you'd like to talk to me about it, give me a call. I'd like to tell you about it. Okay. Bye. Thanks again for lunch. So I said goodbye and waited.
Waited for what? I'm sorry. What were you waiting for?
For him to call, or text, or even email. John never called.
Wow, you must have been a hot mess.
Yes, I was brokenhearted. But only for a minute, because I realized that I'm a survivor in a lot of ways. I mean, John not calling was good news, because it was good to find out early that he wasn't interested. Me waiting for him to call, I was giving him my power. But enough of that. Anyway, a couple of months ago, I started seeing Bill, and today, at lunch, I just told him, I'm a breast cancer survivor who chose not to have reconstructive surgery, and I'm doing great. I just wanted you to know. And if he'd like to talk to me more, then to give me a call. I wasn't nervous. I felt strong and... Oh, excuse me. Bill, hi. Yeah, 7:30 tomorrow is fine. Okay, see you then. I have another date!
Wait, your new bra!
Oh, thank you.
You know, you never know. The next person you meet might be Mr. Right, well, Mr. or Ms. Right, depending on your preference. Yeah, it's amazing. You can never tell what somebody's going through or have gone through. Take Rose, for instance. She has you met her earlier, she has the thriving floral business next door. Strong, confident, but she wasn't always.
I didn't think I'd ever get married. Oh, Rosie didn't want nothing
but that flying feeling I got when I was high. I was high when I met Brian, my husband. He used to work at this little storefront pizza place named Gino's, where I ate and asked for donations to my cause. When I could string two sentences together, we talked while he locked up. He was real smart. I still don't know what he saw in me. I mean, especially that day he pulled me out the gutter. But I've always been so grateful. The stuff I was using was real bad. I decided to die. But he cleaned me up and married me. We didn't have many friends. Brian preferred it just be us, to protect me from my past. My husband's a good man. Brian handles all the money. He gives me what I need. My husband's a good provider. Oh, I had plenty to do when the kids came. 3 girls in 4 years. Mm-hmm. And several years later, another daughter married. Brian said that my only job was the home and the kids. Oh, he'd get real mad if I didn't handle things the best way. Mary's the only one left at home now. My husband, he's a good father. Boyfriends in my old days, they hit. Brian, he never hits my face. He holds my arm and he hits my breast. Because no one could see the bruises, I figured no one could see my pain. Mary made this for me. I told her Mommy doesn't wear bikinis. She said it was a bra made from this powerful new metal that would protect my breast and my heart from harm. She said this is what she was gonna wear when she got a bra. She called it the treasure chest protector. Brian's already left for work, and Mary's, she's still asleep. I told him that she wasn't going to go to school today, because she didn't feel good. All this time, I let myself think that I needed to be here with him, that he saved me. Mary and I are leaving today. I don't know where to go or what to do, but it's time I'm my own treasure chest protector.
fast. She found her way to help. And then she found her life. And then Rosie found Diane.
My aunt was abused. We were little. My cousin told me. I told my mom. No one knew.
Your cousin was lucky to talk to you about something like that. Sometimes all we need is a safe place to, to talk to someone.
Where's the ladies' room?
Out the door to the left.
I promised my sister I'd pick this up for my niece. You said this is the only one?
Yeah.
My niece thinks if she had a training bra, maybe they'd grow faster. I told her 12 is not when you need a training bra. You need one at 42 when your breasts have forgotten where they were and need retraining. If women had been taught better about gravity in school, more would have become engineers and scientists. We would have gotten to the moon long before 1969, and we would have invented better anti-gravitational devices to use as bras. Ooh, I love this place.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
know you were
Please,
changing.
Please come in. These are my original breasts, and they're an A cup. I'm thinking about getting an enhancement to a C cup. What do you think? What do you think? Would a C cup fit my body? Well, depends on how you're planning on using them. What do you mean?
Tool or weapon? Well, will you be doing a lot of nude work? Who's going to be seeing them? Husband, boyfriend, customers? Is it to please yourself or someone else? Will you be going topless a lot? Braless? What type of reaction do you want? Just head turning or love of a boob?
Well, here's the deal. I was at this audition last week, and all the other women there were out to here. And their audition lasted twice as long as mine. I just want them to notice me so that they can see my talent.
You're an actress? What have you done?
Not nearly enough.
I used to act, but that's not why I had mine done. I wanted help dating.
Yours look nice. May I have a closer look?
Oh, absolutely. Wow. Nice work. Yours look perfect. Who did yours?
Did it help with the dating?
Yes and no. More dates, but they were talking to these.
They're so symmetrical. Are they always going to stay up there? Do they fall? Do you always have to wear a bra? Are they soft?
Here, take a squeeze, honey.
Oh, they're firm but not hard.
Now, I had a 2-cup in my hand. I thought for me 3 cups would be overkill. Now, I like wearing a bra because I like lacy stuff, but I don't have to.
Is one bigger than the other? I guess that makes them look more natural. Why'd you have yours done?
I wanted to add some pizzazz in my marriage, but I realized we still weren't talking to each other and probably should, which meant I was going to have to figure something else out.
What did you decide?
To create togetherness hobbies, stuff we could learn and do together. So far, we have done Italian cooking, race car driving, tango classes. So it worked. More than an instant.
Huh. How about you? Are you getting any work done?
Oh, I had a reduction. My doctor figured that each of my breasts weighed 25 to 30 pounds each. I mean, I walked around with so much back pain for years. Oh, carrying around all this extra weight. I went from a triple D to a C.
Oh, and you?
Me? Oh, I'm here for a friend. My friend Martha was in a car accident, which, well, the doctor felt that a reconstruction would be helpful, but she's finding it hard hearing information from people, so I'm doing a little research. And
Yeah, like,
well, you know, this has been really valuable. I find that people who've had surgery for reasons, other reasons, have a hard time talking about it easily.
Other reasons?
Well, you know, like reconstruction after a mastectomy, or like my friend's car accident, there was a lot of broken glass. Anyway, so, you know, they find it hard to talk about it, much less showing a perfect stranger. So, but this has been really valuable. You know, you're so open about it. It's like they're not even yours anymore.
I'm glad it was helpful for you. Gotta go.
Yeah. Me too.
Best of luck to your friend. She's lucky to have you.
There's so much I hadn't considered. I think I'll think about it some more.
Well, Martha, doesn't seem so bad. Let's go talk to the doctor.
Oh, believe it or not, I used to be a 36C. I stopped reading Red Meat and poof, unexpected reduction.
Everybody talks about size.
Well, let's face it, breasts can stick out. They're powerful. Oh, that's the what if book. I created it so that people could do a larger size and see if they could have a larger size without the surgery. What if? You know, what if? That way the silicone inserts make you bigger. See how much bigger I am? Okay.
You might be able to model that for an Instagram reel.
I don't know about a reel. I don't have one.
Okay. Maybe I'll teach you about it later. You know, just like the tuck.
Okay.
You know, if it weren't for bras, there'd just be free-flying tits and bobbing boobs.
Yeah, that would be true. You know, my grandmother said that when the bras first came into existence, that they made the breasts flat. They were pretty much just a couple of hankies tied together, and there was no shape to them at all. They didn't do anything for the droopage, nothing.
Could you imagine a time when there was no cleavage?
Mm-hmm. Cleavage is used for everything, including holiday decorations.
Cleavage is beautiful, especially if the breasts are distinct, but not so attractive if the breasts are just pushed together so they spill out over the bra. That's too much. I think it's beautiful when you can see the actual shape of the breast.
Yeah.
I rarely show cleavage. I think I'm fairly modest in that way. I've never deliberately or consciously used my cleavage, but there were a couple occasions where it was a big hit.
I know nothing about spillage. I wondered what it represented till I figured out I actually already had it.
I know what you mean.
I don't. Oh my. Let's see. What is next? What is the next bra we've got?
You ever thought about what people do to breasts in the name of fun? Because I do. She's so sweet. That's all they ever said about me. Everybody, family, friends, teachers. She's so sweet. Because I was a good girl, all I ever did on dates was kissing. I never broke curfew. I even left prom early because I was in charge of the food bank at the shelter the next morning. I was predictable. I was about to leave for college, and my mom said, "Now you be careful of those college boys. They're just looking for fun." Then my brother chimed in with, "Oh, you don't have to worry about her. She don't know how to have fun." I don't know how to have fun. Since college was for learning, I decided to find out. I met Slam just after Thanksgiving break. He played guitar in his band Blood Rock and sang lead. He had great tattoos and rode a hog. We never really went out on dates. We just hung out at his place. Slam was my first. It was great! I was surprised because most of my friends said they didn't like sex at first. I did. Slam said,
"I really like your tits. If you like the sensations, you can have them all the time."
"Yeah!" The guy at the tattoo parlor looked like he had rolled with the original Hell's Angels, and he had more hair on his face than I did on my head. Nipple piercing. I don't know what I was thinking it would be. The thought of this man pinching both of my nipples until they were numb, and then sticking a needle through each one? The appeal of the constant sensation disappeared. And not long after that, Slam did too. Then I met Mitch. He was on the wrestling team, and all he ever wanted to do was give me pearl necklaces. Well, that's when a guy, and he ended. Well, that's the pearl necklace. 2 years ago, I met Jeremy. He says I'm sweet. And when he says it, I really like being sweet.
It's amazing. It's amazing what people want to do with regard to breasts. There's already enough stuff that happens to them.
Yes, there was a time in my life when I wasn't sure what was happening. Papa was a rolling stone. Do, 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 do. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, I was in the shower. Actually, it was the second time I felt it. The first time, I didn't acknowledge it. I kind of bypassed it. I mean, I've never felt anything there before, so it must be a mistake that I feel something there now. But 3 days later, in the shower, it was still there. Not that I waited 3 days before I showered again, I just didn't feel it. Or maybe I washed that area really fast. Or maybe I didn't wash that part at all. Okay, maybe it isn't really there. I went back to the spot, couldn't find it. I put my arm down and sighed. Damn, there it is again. It's probably nothing. It could be a cyst. That's nothing. Don't panic about nothing because nothing is what it is. I turn up the radio to stop the sounds of doubt running amok in my head. I call the doctor when I get to work to get it checked out. Next Tuesday, nothing sooner? Okay, I can keep the thoughts of doom at bay for sick days. So, my doctor tells me, as I'm leaning toward him, arms outstretched, naked, breasts hanging as he checks them, if I weighed more, I never would have found it. Not comforting. Years ago, my doctor told me that African American women have more fibrous breasts, lumpy. The way he said it was like I should know this. I mean, mine are the only ones I felt, so how am I supposed to know that? They tell you to do these self-exams, but you have nothing to base it on. So if your breasts are lumpy, you don't know what you're looking for. And how do I say to another woman, excuse me, may I feel yours? Anyway, he found it. So time for a mammogram. I'm sorry, putting a woman's breast between two plastic bookends and smashing them together with hundreds of pounds of force and shooting radiation through them? There has got to be a better way. After that, he called to say the results are inconclusive. Let's wait and see. Sure, let's spend time worrying about it, thinking about it, wondering about it every time I take a shower. I don't think so. I called him back. Take it out and let's see. Fine, it's a simple procedure. We can do it in my office. Lying on my side with my arm over my head. We talked about traveling. I had been to Paris. He had been to Spain. The nurse wanted to go to London. It didn't matter what we spoke of as long as we weren't doing what we were doing, except we were. It was over pretty quick with the stitch and some tape. I'll call you when the results come in. Then it's just waiting for the call. You can always tell. It's in how they leave the message. Hello, this is the doctor's office with your lab results. Please call as soon as possible to schedule an appointment to discuss the results. That's the scary message. Or, hello, this is the doctor's office. I have good news. That's the message you want to hear. I checked messages every hour. But when I heard, hello, this is the doctor's office, I hung up. My heart leapt to my throat and began to pound. I had been waiting for the call, but I wasn't sure I was ready to hear what was to come. I redialed, punched in my access code, and listened. Hello, this is the doctor's office. I have good news. That was all I heard. And then I cried.
Like we said, there's a lot that happens to the breast. As well as the fun stuff. Are you staying? Yeah. Okay, well let's lock up.
What excites your breasts?
Oh, my breasts have fun when they get excited. Okay, like, thank you. Like touch, but not before they're a little warmed up, because if they're touched too soon, they tickle, and that's like a little too sensitive, you know? But I think it's the warming up that excites them. I don't know, it's like that weird in-between part where it's like, don't touch me, but touch me. You know what I mean?
What else excites your breasts?
Lips, kissing,
Licking, fondling.
Oh, cold air ice cube.
Erotic films.
It just depends on who's doing what, you know. Somebody who's just like they're trying to gobble a hot dog.
A tongue. No, tongue flicks. No, soft tongue flicks. Yeah, mine don't get excited. They're not cheerleaders. New shoes on sale.
taking my bra off.
Yes.
Oh, in the ocean, in the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah.
Because the water is so soft.
Passionate love scenes.
I said erotic films.
It can't be said too much.
Hot bath.
Silk sheets.
Appreciation. Okay. Whose breasts do you admire?
Holly Berry's. They are so proportioned to her body, and she dresses so well and looks good.
Yeah.
So it's a package thing.
Yeah. Hallie still matches her body, but don't forget about Brianna and Beyonce and Rihanna.
Well, a friend of mine when we were younger had her breasts done. I mean, she was older than me, but a beautiful woman. I saw her change once, and her breasts were just standing like right in front of her. But the skin all around it was just it was hanging. I mean, it was very odd looking.
I admire my own breasts.
Well, I tell you, a friend of mine was trying on blouses, and when she took hers off, there her breasts were right where God intended them. You know those voluptuous women carvings, and their breasts are like right there, and they're round, and they're perfect. You know, until that moment, I never had anybody whose breasts I admired. I wanted to ask her though, what she did to keep them there. But I didn't. Wait. She found a way to defy gravity. I wanted to know how.
Well, I admire hers.
Shaka Khan! Over in concert! Ain't nobody love me better, make me happy. All that energy and excitement and her moving on stage, her breasts were just dancing. They reminded me of tropical fruit. I knew then why guys hung around her. They were just waiting for the flavor and the juices to come their way.
Shaka Khan? My grandpa loves her.
My friend Diana wears these low-cut tops, and she's really proud of them, and she displays them, and I think that's great. I only wish that I felt a little bit better about my own body in general.
I admire my own breasts.
All right. Okay, you know, no matter how old they are, what size, shape, or color they are.
Why do you think that guys are fascinated with breasts?
Okay, there's many theories. Like, women have a vagina and breasts, guys have a penis. Like, we have two parts, they have one. Maybe they're just jealous. I mean,
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Men are fascinated with breasts. Wonder why?
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, there's that fascination, but I just don't know why there is that fascination. I mean, I don't get it.
I think that men are fascinated with breasts because they want what they don't have, so they have to go out and get them. Hell, women are like that too, right? Maybe it's an American thing. I wonder if other cultures deal with that issue too.
Maybe it's just the U.S. and the way Madison Avenue has manipulated advertising, and that our culture has bought into the whole sex sells thing. Can't you just picture it? Some ad exec somewhere has decided that their product is so terrible, they need a distraction. Breasts. So here's our horrible product next to a pair of big boobs. And some simple mind somewhere really believe that if they buy this product, they get a pair of very dainty boobs. And they've been doing it ever since.
I think people just want to be a little kid laying on mommy's chest with no worries. It's a natural instinct.
Yeah, maybe. Women never know.
In any case, the power breast has is positive and loving and a celebration that doesn't have to be scandalous or kinky.
No, they don't define a woman, but they are part of what makes a woman.
A woman is art in any form. The way that we're built, the way we give birth and nurture, the way that we do work, so many different kinds of work at the same time, and the way we make love, and the way we orgasm again, and again,
The truth is, we really don't mind if we look, but respect, honor, and appreciate us for all that we are. There's been a lot of confusion about the breast. Let's hope we can put an end to it all. Thank you for coming and watching our show, and we hope you enjoyed it. We always like to take a few minutes just to see what's, check in with everybody to see if you had any questions, and if anybody wanted to take something home with them, the thoughts, the ideas, or shifts, or something new that you heard, or something new that there's a different way that you'd like to see things happen in the world. Anybody got any thoughts? Or any questions for us?
There's one right there.
Yeah, I see a
Yeah.
hand.
Right there.
Yeah, that.
Sonia? Yes.
Yeah. One of the things that I got out of this was really a focus, both indirectly and directly, on women's power. And yet, as we know from the society in which we live, women don't have the kind of power, at least on a larger scale, that I think that we can have. And I'm wondering what it is that we can do about that.
Sonia, can you fix that?
Working on it. So one of the things for me is, one of the reasons why we do this show, that I wrote the show, is so that women can, I think that when we see the stories that are our own stories, that other people have the same stories, our sisterhood, we're all built on the same situations and understanding, is that I think that we can always raise our own self-esteem by being aware of who we are and being proud of what we got, whatever we got. Ladies, are you proud of what you got?
Yep.
Yeah. Woo! Ladies, you're proud of what you got? Because we find that I've done the show a lot of times, and I had a woman say, I don't like my breasts. She was in her 50s and she didn't like them because of how much trauma she went through in her life that she felt, you know, she was so attached to how it was in her life that she couldn't find her own ability to love herself. And what she was saying really was more, to me, what it felt like, was more about not loving herself as to just her that one body part. So it's so much, we're so much more than what society tells us who we are. So this is one of the things that I'm looking at. And the thing that I think is also helpful for us all is to learn to love each other better and to appreciate each other. Because we often downgrade ourselves and then we downgrade each other when we speak to each other, and we can't even catch it sometimes. So, what is your suggestion? And then we'll come down here.
I would actually like to learn whether men have similar kinds of issues.
I'm sure they do. Anybody want to speak to that?
It's difficult to speak to it in today's world. It's very challenging because when we try to speak to it, we're mansplaining it. And that's a very powerful, it's a counter force that puts us in a situation, if we want to get along, if we want to heal the gender war. I was raised by a single mom, so I'm totally appreciative of this, but to speak to it from the pain that I live with as a person, as a male, that's mansplaining, and I get shut down. So I just walk back and try to give my empathy back and listen and just try to appreciate. I do appreciate, and I do appreciate the reality that women face in our world. And you know, I try to do what I can do day to day, and it's about, I think, creating hope. Creating hope in your attitude, creating hope in your expression, in your language, in your behavior, and in the energy you put out. And that's the best that any of us can do. But if we aren't aware of it, or we've been programmed not to, you know. So I think that it keeps coming back, having this discussion, and it's, you know, it's a challenge.
Yeah. Any other gentlemen want to speak to that?
I think women have a lot more power than they realize. Remember how many wars have been fought over women and how extraordinary lengths a guy will go to impress or get the attention of a woman. Be the kind of woman that, well, you figure it out.
Yeah, right. I'm sorry, let me come in here and then go back.
I just want to share that one of my experiences of seeing this play a couple of times is I feel a lot more comfortable talking about breast cancer. And I was at a retreat this weekend, and we were talking about menopausal sex and vaginal dryness and breast, and she's like, well, I really don't like mine. I had reconstructive surgery after mastectomy, and I think they look weird. And we're like, well, just show us. Show us your breast, and how wonderful it was to feel comfortable to initiate the conversation. And she showed us, and they look great. You know, so it's like, it's having this kind of open conversation to become aware that maybe the way she sees herself, or I see myself, that if I can see it in someone else, to be brave, to have this kind of conversation, then I can see myself differently, and I can start to see that innate power that we're all born with, men and women, and to own that. It's just been, you know, the self-esteem disparity gap is, I know, part of your mission and why you do these plays, and to have this kind of conversation about breast health. I also want to say that I love the journey that you take us on, that it's from childhood to womanhood, to the laughter, to sadness, to the jokes, to just, and the camaraderie that women have. Like, that conversation happens in the bathroom.
It does. It does. Yes.
And I felt like you sort of touched on that very topic of where the power comes from with Candace's monologue about, you know, sometimes those people who bring cleavage have a little extra something that they're bringing that enables them to have a stronger voice, a more powerful voice, even though it's obnoxious as hell. And that's reality. But I liked it that you brought that in.
Can I say something? It's interesting that you say that, because as I'm working on the monologue, I'm flashing back to like I was that person. Like, you know, and it wasn't like I planned that, or but growing up I looked a certain way, and I got my way with certain things because of that, and I used it, and it wasn't like I was planning to use it. It was just that was the culture that we were in, that you did that. And so, and I didn't even realize that I really did it as much as I did until I was working on this monologue. And then
And I used to be a 36C, and I had a cleavage. I mean, it's still there.
Hi, it's good to see you again, darling.
Hey, Paul.
She directed my show, these three pre-pandemic, so we love it. I just want to congratulate you on the mix of women that you have up there. There is every body type up there. There's lots of color, and I just love it because it relates to everybody in the audience. We can all find ourselves somewhere up on the stage, and I think that's so important, because whether you got little titties or big titties, we're all the same. We all got that same thing going on. So I just appreciate that you have created a mixture of different women up on the stage. That's awesome.
Thank you. Any other? Oh,
There's a guy back here.
Oh, can I go to the guy first? Sure. Before he puts his hand down?
That's going to create a different problem. I'm a cancer survivor at about 3.5 years. Cancer, unfortunately. And that applause to my doctor. I didn't do it. Cancer, unfortunately, is universal. And traditionally, men can have testicular cancer, penis cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer. I spent the last 3 days wondering if this is a lump that I need to worry about, or the swollen sweat glands or something. We all have to go through this. And I think that when we talk about it as a human race, instead of race or sex, we'll all go together.
Amen. Exactly.
All that said, every voice is going to be
Well, so I am a recent breast cancer survivor, and I really appreciated the conversation that you women brought to this topic. I'm a huge advocate for everybody to go get their mammograms and to stay on track with that, and to share your stories, because so many women that have gone through breast cancer don't want to talk about it. And I think that it's so important to share, because look at the impact that you've made. And I'm so grateful that you actually spoke to that, because one of the things that I learned in my journey is that men are very susceptible to breast cancer as well.
Yeah,
So-
Richard Brownsheen, who we lost last week, had breast cancer. And a friend of mine who is also a survivor would do conversations with groups and bring that up, so that, because men should be checking as well, and they're so that we can all stay healthy in the ways that we can. Any other comments, thoughts, ideas?
Question. There's quite an impressive collection of bras on stage. She wants to buy. When you were purchasing them as props for the play, I suppose, did you strive for a variety or find patterns or consistencies in the way that they're designed? As some of them don't seem even to be very practical.
To tell you the truth.
More wine for you.
Okay, there's paper towels in a bag then. To tell you the truth, when I bought the bras, when I started the show, there were not nearly as many bras up here as there. I have been doing some form of this show for 18 years. This is 18 years. My husband bought that one for me, the nippleless bra. The Christmas bra I actually made because it lights up, and I made that one. And this one, well, there's a lot. The idea for me was not so much that as much as it was, what can I afford? So I shot downtown at the dollar store, and some of these, probably nothing is over $2 except for that one. Nothing was over $2. I paid because I know where to go. And you're right. I don't wear underwires. I haven't worn underwires in 15 years. But there are a lot of them up here that are underwires. But some people like them, and they provide a lot of support. And I tried to hit a couple of bra companies to help, support the show, but they haven't seen the light yet.
Speaking of support, you were talking about breast support, but one of the things that was so powerful was the women supported each other.
Yes.
And that was just a through one from, that was really beautiful.
Thank you. And that's the whole thing for sisterhood, for us to, to keep supporting each other and keep catching each other what we say, because sometimes we say things to each other that aren't true, and we let each other get away with it. It's something like, oh, I don't like this, or this, I look so bad, and then somebody else may say, oh yeah, I look that bad too, or I have, we want to support each other in the stuff that is not good. So let's support each other in the stuff that's good. Anyway, that's my thing. Yes.
Hey, Sonia. I just wanted to bring up one thing, because you covered it a little bit, but I have an experience with my sister and my mother that I felt wasn't really represented here very much. And that's because breast is so sexualized and everything, that our culture's always been like, oh, bigger, better, right? But my sister had a breast reduction, and my mom just wished she could have, because she was older and it was not advised. But the things that they would go through, I mean, the difficulties that it was having large breasts, like if a lot of people knew these things, would they really even go for those big ones? Because, there were serious, so I felt you touched on that, but I thought maybe there could be a little more of that too.
Well,
I don't know.
yes, and what happens is this show ran probably, does anybody know how long it ran?
Yeah, an hour and, almost an hour and, about an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
9:15.
Sorry. I told you 75 minutes and it was, anyway, I used to do 2 acts. So we're moving it to try and condense it. But we did 2 acts, 45 minutes on both sides. And I actually have like 3 hours of material.
Oh, wow.
So it's in there. I swap pieces out and move things around as I can. But absolutely, I had a woman who was very large, and some of her stories that she told me is like, she would have, because she was so large, some men would try and determine whether or not they were real, and they would hug like this, and they would put their hands in the back of her chest on bra line and push them against her, against their chest, to determine if they could feel the implants. She didn't have any, but there were some people do all sorts of things, and some.
Let me just say, just to address large breasts, very often it may be a medical reason too why they have breast reductions. because I have large breasts. I've never had a breast reduction, but your bra straps go to your shoulders. Some people have back issues, and the doctor will recommend that they have a breast reduction. Also, sometimes when you get older, the law of gravity, like I said in the play, you know, and I've considered breast reduction only because of the law of gravity. You know, I don't want to have to lift up my skirt when you see me. I have really considered it, but I just haven't gone through with it because I guess it hasn't been a big enough problem for me. But, you know, when you have big breasts too, it's sometimes hard to even find bras to fit you, you know, because I'm in like a triple D, and it's hard to find a triple D. So sometimes it's medical reasons, so sometimes it's not just vanity.
And may I say something too? When I was growing up, I mean, I have a little something now, but when I was, you know, a little bit younger, they were a little flatter.
You mean
but,
like me?
Yes, I wasn't going to say that. But I had I had friends who had breasts, and I was so jealous of them. And it was interesting because I, you know, told them that, and they told me how they were jealous of me because of how guys perceive them. Just looking at them, they made the assumption that they were somehow easy because they had large breasts, but different struggles that they had having larger breasts. So it was, you know, very educational for me. So I learned to embrace my little boobies. But as I said, when I got older, put on a little bit of weight, so I put on some weight too. But, yeah.
And Lisa, the idea, like what you're saying, is to have, in having these, when we do the play, to have a discussion, is to be able to say, to add the comments that we couldn't put in the play, so that people can hear these stories. Everything that happened on stage are actual stories. So, you know, all of them. Yes.
I cannot help it when there's a whole group of women that I admire, and thank you so much for sharing your talent and your heart. And Sonia, you're just, you're amazing. That you're a bonobo sister. Have you heard of the bonobo sisterhood?
No.
It's a revolution through female alliance, and it's an important read. And what you're all doing is bonobo. So when you read it, you'll understand what I'm saying. But thank you so much for the years you put into empowerment of women.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to wind up because we're running a little over. And, but I have just the last couple of things is what I do is through my nonprofit, Visions of Possibilities. I'll be putting a sign outside. This is our gift to the community as a kickoff to the giving season at the end of the year to raise money for our nonprofit as well. And if you would like to make any kind of donation in the future, one of the things that we have at the end of this year is our blessing shawl. And the blessing shawl is, it just has positive words on it for women. It's a pashmina. And I have done much prayer over these, and so therefore we are giving them away as a donation for $100 donation to the nonprofit if you're interested. But because I had such a wonderful task, excuse me. They each get one. Oh. Sneak out. Go ahead and sneak out. We know. We also have, if you want to wait for the cast, we're going to break.
break down the set. We have some cookies and juice outside. So, but before you leave, Chris, the artistic director would like to say.
Hi, Chris.
It has become customary at the end of every performance for one of our senior members to come out here and extend you our deepest gratitude. And I'm being the seniorist. I've been here since 1964. I spent 2 years in Vietnam, 67 to 69. And why are we extending you our gratitude? Well, normally it's because you bought a ticket. But in this case, you didn't buy a ticket, but you did show up. You did show up, and you sat in the seat, and most importantly, you endured the entire performance. Now, that is a special gift, and we don't think about it. We don't even consider it. We show up, we go through the experience, we walk out the door. We don't think about it. Well, I survived Vietnam in '69, and in 1999, 30 years after the fact, I had a thought. And the thought is, our humanity is our most precious resource. And it seems to me to be an imperative to do all we can in our lives to nurture that capacity within ourselves and share it with those around us. When you sit in that seat, you're giving yourself that opportunity. When you endure the performance, you're giving yourself food for thought and contemplation. Because you don't know what you're going to get when you walk in the door. You may love it, you may hate it, you may be awed by it, inspired by it, but whatever it is, it hits you. Contrary to popular opinion, theater is not a spectator event. You sit in that seat and you endure the performance. You walk out the door with food for thought and contemplation. It may take you a nanosecond to process it. It may take you 30 years or the rest of your life. But in that process of processing that and contemplating, you're stepping out of your comfort zone. You're giving yourself an opportunity to possibly become a little more patient, a little more accepting, a little more understanding, a little more tolerant, a little more empathetic, a little more human. And that is a sacred gift. When you think about it, it's a sacred gift you give yourself, your friends, your family, your community, the artists on stage. And for that gift, personally, and for the Playhouse, I wish to say to each and every one of you and the artists here on stage, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.